Welcome to the Falls Homefront, where Wichita Falls leads in North Texas real estate, business, and life. I'm Tim Lockhart, retired Air Force officer, realtor, and your local real estate and business strategist. Every week, I'm shining a spotlight on people, places, and opportunities that make our community thrive. You'll hear real estate tips, market insights, and inspiring conversations with local leaders, entrepreneurs, and fellow military veterans. Whether you're a homeowner, investor, military family, or brand new to the area, you'll get the expert advice, community connections, and local insights you won't find anywhere else. Let's get started. Welcome to the Falls Homefront. I'm Tim Lockhart, and I appreciate you tuning in. We've got a great episode today full of practical tips and local insights that you're not going to want to miss. Today, I'm so excited to welcome our guest, Jeffery Jenkins. Jeff was appointed the city manager of Wichita Falls, Texas in April 2025 and began his tenure on June 9th. He has more than 21 years of city management experience, previously serving as deputy city manager in Taylor, Texas, where he oversaw multiple departments, helped secure the Samsung chip plant, and led projects including the Heritage Square redevelopment and Pierce Skate Park. Under his leadership, Taylor earned its highest ever bond rating in 2024. Jenkins has also held senior roles in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, Lucas, Texas, Henrietta, Texas, and Cactus, Texas. So welcome, Jeff. It's great to have you.
Yeah. Nice to be on here, Tim. Great to see you today.
Great. We have lots of exciting things happening in Wichita Falls right now, from commercial investments like the Amazon facility, arts and entertainment. What is your vision for Wichita Falls over the next few years as you start this position?
Sure. Great question, Tim. It's just a wonderful time here in Wichita Falls. We're definitely moving forward with a lot of exciting opportunities. First, I got to hit economic development. We're definitely focused on those primary job employers, but how can we expand upon that even more? We have a lot of advantages that some areas of the state don't have. So utilizing those advantages to expand the primary job market is going to be one of my big visions of working with the chamber. Additionally, additional restaurants, retail, and entertainment opportunities. We have a lot of those today, but what are some ways we can expand upon that even further to where you don't have to drive out of town to find those opportunities? So we're working diligently on that and on multiple fronts. And then quality of life, we have some great amenities already we already have a water park, but what are some other things that we can do that can enhance our quality of life and provide those healthy opportunities that are attractive for the younger generation to want to move here, start their professional career, and be here for the long haul to raise a family or experience all the life's adventures. So it's a very dynamic, exciting time. And then lastly, one other thing is redevelopment of some of our things that we already have, like our downtown. We have a really nice downtown, but what can we get it to the next level? And then our mall project as well. That's pretty exciting, where we have a community that's going to make things happen and not let things happen to us. And that's what's very exciting with the mall, is that we're going to make something happen with the university, the chamber, and redevelop that area, which was a heartbeat of our community.
That's great. Yeah. So my time that I spent in the Air Force, one of the phrases that we said all the time is that the only thing that's constant is change.
That's correct.
And and we can choose the change we want, or we can let the change happen to us and get what's happened to us. So we're making some efforts to take control over that. And what's the status of that mall? Where are we on that?
Great question. About mid of October, we're scheduled to close on the property. And then we have a master developer that I believe we've pinpointed that we want to bring on board. And so we got to work some agreements with them as far as maintaining the current facility. And then we'll start on the design process as far as redeveloping the entire site. Very exciting though to have a new football stadium where Midwestern State can utilize. They would be putting the money up to do that stadium, and they would either buy
Yes,
or
that is
lease the
exciting.
property from us. And then there's other quality of life amenities, a splash pad, amphitheater, places of gathering that we need to figure out. And then, of course, the layout and how we want the buildings to look. It's going to be one of those dynamic places that everybody's going to want to go to and spend time in, not just a local attraction, but regionally and out of state attraction where people will want to spend time there. So we're really excited about it. Again, do you let it things happen to you, or do you, like you said, you make it happen? And this is making it happen because this is something that unfortunately malls all across the US are closing, and we don't want to lose that key location. So very exciting time.
Right, it is. Yeah, it's great to see some big vision projects happening here. And
Mhm.
that's just one of them. There's a lot of things many people might not know about going on. But yeah, what do you see as the greatest opportunity for growth here?
I definitely for the industrial opportunities for primary employers, we've definitely got a lot of really good infrastructure in place, and we got good water and wastewater capabilities, and also power. That's one thing that there's a lot of struggles in various parts of the state is you just don't have those abilities or to provide those services. So that's one area. Another opportunity with Midwestern State, they've got a wonderful university, and that can also provide the skills and the labor that's needed if you did want to invest in our community. And I'm trying to think of some other things. I think entertainment is another key area. We have some corridors that they just need a little bit of work, and that's what, as a city, we're focused on. How can we make that area reimagined and a little bit more popping with some new action? So we're very lucky that we have good bones, we have a good footprint. It's just reimagining and finding the partners to work with us to rework some of those areas and develop new places as well.
That's great. Thank you for those insights. Yeah, you have experience working recently with other communities that are similar size to ours. And how do you define leadership in the public sector? What does that look like to you? And then specifically here in Wichita Falls?
I always think about the how do you make things happen? That's the first thing. How do you make things that happen to where it benefits all the residents, where you can live your livelihood and not worry about what's going on at City Hall, but then it's creating opportunities, creating quality of life, creating just it's public leadership is pushing that forward and in a transparent, ethical way. And but in summary, I just think if there's a way to help the residents any way we can to maybe have a more fulfilled livelihood, I think that's what public leadership is all about.
Yes, that's great. There is quite a bit of difference in leading in government situations versus the private sector. Yeah, I know. It was there's lots of leadership training I had in the Air Force, and it took a different application when I started leading in the private sector as a business owner versus in the military. It just it's
Yeah,
similar, but there's different skill sets that are required. So it's
that's
interesting.
very, very true.
Yeah. Yeah. What role does economic development play in building a thriving city? Like the experience you had with projects like Heritage Square and Pierce Skate Park.
Yeah, it's almost hand in hand economic development and that quality of life. Economic development is critical. There's we've seen a history over the last 50 plus years where some communities said, "Hey, I don't want that roadway, or I don't want that economic development piece in my community." And unfortunately, you get left behind. There's things that then either job opportunities, your kids may move away because they don't have opportunities. There's also those quality of life or other investments that may happen that just makes your life better. So economic development is critical. When a community, sometimes unfortunately when they realize it, it's too late. And that's what you don't want to have happen, is to have an experience where it's too late and you don't have the cutting edge or moving forward capabilities. And then with quality of life, yeah, it allows those gatherings, those healthy living opportunities. I'm a big proponent for healthy living. And when you're walking in a park, sometimes you have an idea or you have an experience with your family and or loved ones that just make your day, and you just want to keep coming back there over and over again. And it helps with sustainability as far as keeping those residents to want to be in those places long term, and attracts new residents because they hear about that trail system like our circle trail or like a park that you go to. They hear about those things and, boy, I would really like to move to that community. But both components, yeah, are very critical and go hand in hand on not only attracting new jobs, but also helping with the sustainability of wanting them to live here long term and invest here as well. A community that invests in itself. Another thing I think about is, and sometimes you'll see some areas like downtown or other areas like that Heritage Square Park. If the city decided, hey, we're going to invest in ourselves, give this opportunity for our residents. And what did it do? All these other business owners and things saw that park and were like, hey, the city's walking the walk. Maybe I should also walk that same mile and invest more in my building, spruce it up a little bit, change up some concepts. So it really made that area come alive a little bit more.
That's great. Yeah, we have a lot of history here in Wichita Falls, and there's a lot of things that we don't want to see change, like our traffic patterns. We have absolutely no traffic problems, which is absolutely wonderful. However, if we do succeed, or when we do succeed, I guess I should say, in these development plans and attract more people, then obviously that might change. And so how do you balance this, keeping some things traditional that we like in our community, but the innovation and planning for the future and growth?
That's a good question. It's all about, first, you got to give empathy and understanding to residents. Especially people that have been here a long time in any community, change is hard. You have those memories or flashback moments of, I remember when I went on my, I don't know, first baseball game or soccer game or whatever. You have those memories. So I guess one thing is understanding and empathy, and so listening is really critical with that component. And then when you're redeveloping or having things happen, is working with those partners. Hey, what are some wins that you can have for our residents? Maybe it's the jobs. Maybe I'm a real big believer in, I call it corporate citizenry. It's where any new corporation, if they've got an economic development agreement they're wanting to do with us, that they also in turn invest in our parks. Maybe there's an annual amount they put in for our parks or for nonprofits or even internships. Those are really big. And again, getting back to the residents, just understanding and walking through what are the positives. And then lastly, I think having really good master plans is very important as well. So when you redevelop and you have these things or you have new developments, what's happening on our roadways as far as our traffic congestion, what's happening on this. Start planning ahead. We actually have a $45 million capital improvement plan this year. It's one of our largest we've had. And we also did not raise the tax rate. So we're able to do both lower the tax rate and increase the capital improvement plannings to stay ahead of some of those growth challenges that can happen. And all together, it's a collaborative effort with current residents, and what at the end of the day you want to have for them more opportunities. And then some of the functions of government, some of those costs are now spread out where it's not all on those homeowners. It's on other businesses and industries, and it's spread out equally amongst everyone.
Oh, that's good to hear. What are some of the major projects in that capital improvements plan?
See our road, we have a lot of road projects in there, about $4 million in road projects, just in various parts of the community. We actually have a really good road system already, but you want to prevent those potholes and those failing streets before they get too far down We actually we have an index score where we measure those and we keep track of that to where we don't let them go to the failing levels. We have a lot of investments also in our water and wastewater. We have a state of the art water facility with Cypress and Jasper, and we have a every year we reinvest in there to replace various components or systems just to keep it up to date. Our water system's in fairly good shape as well. It's just we have, just like anybody else, has older water lines, and so what we're doing is regularly replacing some of those lines. And then also there's some upgrades in capacity as well with some of the new projects like the Amazon and the data centers. We're going to have to look at expanded roadway capacities and some additional water lines, but some of those will be later on down the road, but we're in good shape. And then there's also investment in quality of life and sidewalks. Sidewalks are really important. Sometimes that gets forgotten, but that's an important thing, to be able to traverse our community and not have to worry about being in the roadway or crossing things. So it's another one of those things that's important for our residents. So we've increased investment in sidewalks.
Yeah, that's great. Those things, they really add up in costs, and they're things that aren't the glamorous, oh, we're building a new Amazon facility or something like that. But if we don't have good roads and water and power, then it's hard to do everything else. So those are really needed, and
Very good
glad
point.
we're investing in those things.
Yes, very good point. You hear about we want the new a lot, but on our end of it, it's also very important in the maintenance end of it. That's probably one of the more critical things, because people don't think about that, but you got to maintain those systems and keep maintaining them or upgrading them in order to, again, to where you have those future things that can come here. If you don't take care of your home base, then you can run into problems.
Right, exactly. Exactly. What are some of the innovative solutions you would like to bring to Wichita Falls?
Great question. I'm big into the work smarter, not harder mentality. So I'm definitely I've explored some AI technology, and I definitely want to have that implemented into some of our city systems. There's definitely some cities out there already doing that in California. And what are some things we can learn from that? And again, work smarter, not harder, make our jobs easier, and then make the customer service even better. I have a survey tracking system that I'm planning on implementing where it does surveys on various areas. Maybe it's one on quality of life, maybe it's one on downtown, but you basically it's a scientific survey that you do whenever you want to do it. And I'm wanting to implement that. I've also got an innovation team that I'm putting together internally for the city, because we need to look at our fiscally how with sustainability, as far as not having to rely on taxes all the time. There are other ways that we can do things that, again, that are smarter and create revenue opportunities for sustainability. And then help with reducing costs as well, if there's some things that we can do better. But we're about to start kicking that team off here in the next month, and we'll meet regularly on, hey, what are those ideas? A lot of times when you get in day to day in some organizations, you forget about those innovative things, and you got to keep them at the forefront all the time, talking about it. What are we doing about it, and what are those ideas, and let's follow up and take true action on them, because they can get lost in the fold. And that's something with leadership, you've got to follow up on those things and make sure that we're doing them. But that's just a couple of ideas, but I've got others, and I think we're going to explore those more in those innovation sessions.
Yeah, that sounds good. Bringing that innovation while also keeping in mind the history and traditions of the community is a good balance.
I agree.
Um, yeah, that's good. So, on a lighter note, what are your thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys football, and how does that affect our North Texas culture here?
Great question. Yeah, I admit I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and about this time of year, September, October, I think every year we think we're going to win the Super Bowl. I have that feeling again. It's starting to come around, but we'll see how long it lasts this year. But it's no football. It's great. We've got a great tradition here in Wichita Falls with football. I'm not sure if you've watched it, and I'd encourage anyone watching this or listening to. There's a documentary called America's Team, and it talks about Jerry Jones and buying the Cowboys. But at the beginning of the documentary, they actually show or talk about West Texas football history. And in some of the pictures and some of the reels they show, it's of Memorial Stadium here in Wichita Falls because of the history and the tradition of football. From 1937 to 1971, Wichita Falls High School went to 10 high school state championship games and won 6 of them. And in the 20th century, it was called the greatest football program by the Texas Monthly. So we have a big football history here in the area, and it's great seeing some of the tradition continue. I don't like the tradition of the Cowboys not being in the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, but I know Memorial, they've got a quarterback that's been there several years at Wichita Falls Memorial, and he looks primed and ready to go to lead them. I'll tell you one other thing. I did work the training camp that was here back in 1998 to 2003. The Cowboys hosted their training camp in Wichita Falls at Midwestern State.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I had the chance to work it a few times and be out on the field, and it's a pretty exciting experience. But that's also in the documentary. You'll see a few scenes of Wichita Falls in that documentary. So I think we probably have a closer connection to the Cowboys. It's just now they need to pull off some more success in the playoffs. I don't know, who's your team? Do you have a team?
Yeah, I like the Cowboys, yeah.
Oh, you're a Cowboy. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeff, thanks again for being here. It was great having you on. How would the listeners connect with you for more information, or if they need to contact the city staff or you?
Sure. You can always call up here at City Hall. Executive Assistant Pam Birch, and she's here, and you can always call and leave a message or call back. And then another option is I'm on LinkedIn, Jeffery Jenkins. You can probably find me there. And then also on the city's website under City Management Office, you can find me and all the other assistant city managers, and you can just direct email me if you feel comfortable that way. But several options, either call direct, email, or LinkedIn. I think those are my primary contacts right now.
Okay, great. Thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the listeners out there before we wrap up?
Yeah, nothing else I can think of. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you got some good talking points there that you can use for your episode.
I hope so. Okay. And to everyone listening, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Hopefully you picked up a few takeaways that you can use right here in Wichita Falls or wherever you are in North Texas. I appreciate you spending a little time with us today, and we'll see you next time on the Falls Homefront. That wraps up another episode of the Falls Homefront. I trust today's conversation gave you some useful insight for your real estate journey and life here in North Texas. If you enjoyed it, follow the show so you never miss an episode, and subscribe on YouTube. And share it with a friend, neighbor, or fellow North Texan who might enjoy it too. For more resources, local insights, real estate tips, and how to connect with me, head over to timlockharthomes.com. Stay tuned for more stories, strategies, and connections that help you thrive in Wichita Falls and beyond.